Welcome, my friends, my family, my fellow gamers. This is your only friend in YouTube streets, Porter Rock 77. And of course, I got to rep the jersey, especially with the topic that I'm about to do. On Twitter, I put out whether I was going to do a live stream or a hot take. I think the live stream edged it out. But I got to thinking if I do a live stream, it could really prolong this topic. It could get out of hand. And the question is, do I want to talk about this for an hour? Or do I just want to get to the point, really get the information out there? And I figured, you know what? I'm going to do the hot take. Because on Tuesday, we're going to have a podcast anyway. And I'm going to have the crew. And we're going to talk about this topic anyway. So I'm thinking, why am I going to do two live streams on the same topic when I could just hold that out for Tuesday, right? And again, 60 Frames No Lag Podcast, Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern. Hope you rock out and enjoy it. I'm going to try to get some Xbox enthusiasts and other enthusiasts out there to give their take on this. But for now, this is going to be the hot take, right? This hot take is to address, there's just a lot of bad information, good information, bad information, but because it's being mixed in, some gamers don't know what is what, all right? And there's a lot of bad takes and just, so let me just start this, right? For those that are not familiar, let's start from the beginning, okay? All right. The show is a franchise that PlayStation, first party, particular San Diego studios, they develop, right? And it's been on the PlayStation platform for many years, all right? Throughout its inception, right, the show was primarily an exclusive, a first party exclusive for PlayStation, which means Microsoft and Nintendo were not allowed, but for a little while, third party was able to make their own baseball games, right? Or to have a license. Eventually, PlayStation took over the full exclusive license of the game to where no one else can develop this game. And I think that happened in 2014 or something, or 15 at a certain point. At a certain point, Sony was able to retain the full exclusive rights, meaning nobody else were able to use it, okay? I think it was approximately last year or the year before 2019-ish, right? The license was re-upped and renegotiated, and ultimately Sony got the license back again, but with a caveat. The caveat now is the show can no longer be exclusive to the PlayStation platform. It has to be on other platforms. And right now this year, you see it's on Xbox. Eventually, or most likely, or potentially could expand to PC and Nintendo platforms as this things grow. It was a shocker to the industry. It was a shocker to gamers, podcasts, whatever. Some people confuse this move with, is Sony going multi-platform? And no. Got to look at it from the Major League Baseball's perspective. They have no interest in their license or their name or their association of their brand to just be restricted to one specific audience. Sure, it's good for Sony and their PlayStation fan base, but it's not necessarily good for the MLB, especially if they want to expand their audience, similar to what the NFL has, FIFA has, NBA has, right? So, in order for Sony to win out the license again and make this exclusive baseball games, they had to accept the fact that their game will be multi-platform. And I'm sure Sony will take that over just completely losing the license, and now EA or 2K, which would have been the most likely candidates to make these baseball games, they would have been making all the money. Okay? So we got that out the way. All right? Sony, the license has been renegotiated. It's still in PlayStation or Sony's hands, but the caveat, the game has to expand to other platforms. It can no longer be exclusive. Okay. Something unexpected happened though, right? That I think none of us was really prepared for. The show is now day one on Gamepass. And now this is where the confusion starts, right? And now this, I'm going to say up front, this is bad optics on the PlayStation brand and for Sony. But before we get into that, let's deep dive into this decision for Game Pass. There's a lot of confusion on what's happening with this Game Pass going day one, or with MLB The Show going Game Pass day one. A lot of people are seeing as that is a Sony move. Is Sony supporting Game Pass day one? Do they see the value in Game Pass day one? Do they see the money in Game Pass day one? This is where the confusion at. To clear up that confusion, look at the next image. I even circled it. The publisher is MLB. PlayStation is developing the game, as you can see below it, but they are not publishing the game. That means all the money to deliver, get the game on the console, marketing, all that stuff is being handled by the MLB. What that also means is MLB is getting the lion's shares of the sales and profits of this game, not Sony. Sony, the only thing they're gonna get out of it is what any other developer would get when they make a game and the publisher publishes the game. Publishers make the most out of the deal. Developers get the developers' costs and wages and whatever. Okay, so first step. This is not a Sony move. Sony didn't decide to put this game on Game Pass. In fact, Sony's not the one that's actually made the decision to put this game on Xbox, period. That's an MLB decision. And now that we see who the publisher is, you can reasonably assume and put together that the deal is fine. The game is multi-plat, but you're responsible. In other words, Sony's discussion between MLB is responsible to publish the games on other platforms, not Sony. Sony, and I'll show you the next image, they are publishing the game on their own platform, which is the PS5, PS4, and whatever. They'll publish for their platforms. MLB will handle any other platform they want. So the decision is theirs. And also the money's theirs. There's probably just an agreement between the MLB and Sony on, the development costs and money and taking care of the funding for developing the game. But as far as publishing and putting on the platform, that's on the MLB. So this is an MLB decision, not a Sony decision. So if people thought that, Sony's going to make money off of this, most likely not. Other than covering down on the developer costs and making sure the developers get paid and all that stuff, I would say MLB's probably the one that's making out with the money. So sales of this game on Xbox is primarily going to go towards MLB and not so much Sony. Sony's going to take their cut. Their money is going to be primarily based off the PlayStation platform. As far as other platforms, is whatever costs for dealing and developing the game. But as far as publishing, Sony has nothing to do with publishing the game on Xbox and whatever future platform MLB decides the game is going to be, right? So what does that mean? That means, number one, Sony doesn't have a say on how the game is going to get published on any platform. That's not their responsibility, nor do they have any authority to decide that. So this game going on Game Pass, they can't do anything about it. That is an MLB decision, and MLB and Phil Spencer made a deal. Phil Spencer wrote that check. There's nothing Sony can do, right? Sony has to accept it. So what does that mean? That means, now we could talk about this. Sony got stuck with bad optics of this game. And yes, there is bad optics to this. Because regardless of whoever made the decision, even though MLB is the one responsible to publish the game on Xbox, it still looks bad on PlayStation because, again, this game is traditionally known for PlayStation, right? It's traditionally known as a PlayStation game. So now look at this scenario. You have a PlayStation gamer, and maybe a few of them are subscribed to PS Now, and now they get the news that the game that they're going to buy is available on Xbox, and you have the option to play on Game Pass, which is a similar subscription service to PS Now. So those PlayStation gamers are looking at PS Now like, what the hell? I'm subscribed to a similar service, and I can't get the game day one, but you're going to give it to Xbox day one. Now, again, I know it's not Sony giving it to Xbox day one. We all know that. But most consumers don't know the details of publishing. And to be honest, they don't really care. All they know is they have to pay $70 for the game, while another gamer on a different product, Xbox, they don't have to pay $70 to play the game. Yet, Sony's own fan base does. That's going to rub a lot of PlayStation gamers who play this game the wrong way. It's just bad optics. And again, I know some people are going to be, but Portorox, Sony, you make the decision. I understand that. But do you think the consumer on PlayStation who pays money for PS Now, and now they have to pay $70 for the show, but they see their Xbox gamer friends, they don't have to pay $70 to play the show. Do you think they're going to care about the little details? They're not going to care about those little details and nuances in business deals. All they know is they have no option to play this game as part of the service they're subscribed to, or a service that's available on PlayStation. It's only available on Xbox, which is not even PlayStation's own console. It's just bad optics. It's just a bad situation for PlayStation. So the question is, what do they do to remedy this? How can they fix this? My opinion, I don't think there's anything they can do unless they're willing to bite the bullet and just lose millions of dollars, which they're not going to do. And what I mean by that? Well, the first answer people are going to say is, put it on PS Now. Just like Xbox. Just put it on PS Now and everything's solved. There's only one problem. PS Now is only $60 a year. Game Pass is $180 a year. And Microsoft is leading the charge of their gaming division through Game Pass. That is their platform. Game Pass is their platform. Let's make no mistake. Series X, Series S, those are just devices. They're complementary devices. The real platform for Microsoft is Game Pass. That is how they want their economy behind Xbox to go through. They want their stuff to go through Game Pass, right? And it doesn't matter how you do it. Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, those are just devices. It's just devices. If you bother to play on them, cool. If you don't, it don't matter. Just as long as the economy of Xbox gaming is done through Game Pass, that's all they care about, right? Sony's complete opposite. Their economy for gaming is through their console because the console is their storefront. They want you to purchase everything through their console, not through PS Now, right? In fact, if anything, Sony probably holds PS Plus subscription as the more important driving force compared to PlayStation Now, right? So for this to work, for this to be day one on PS Now, they're going to have to change the economy of PlayStation Now, meaning it's no longer going to be $60 a year. It has to be at least $180, maybe even more, because you're talking about games that Sony's going to sell for $70. If you expect Sony to follow this model, expect this model to be expensive, or $180 a year, $15 a month, $20 a month, whatever. But you're not going to get a day one big AAA multi-plat. I mean, it is a multi-plat. You're not going to get a big day one MLB The Show game on a service that's only $60. It's just not going to happen. Some people also recommend that, hey, put this on PS Plus for free for the month of April. That ain't going to happen either, because majority of the people that are going to buy MLB The Show are already subscribed to PlayStation Plus. It will be a huge multi-million-dollar loss for them, right? So what does this mean? It means Sony's screwed. There's just no way around it. This is how we trade out game moment. You know, maybe not as bad, maybe, you know, depending on the perspective, but it's a move that you can't recover from. Just like how Sony pulled the, hey, this is how we trade our games, and Microsoft, Xbox at the time there's no recovery from that. It's done. You know, you got caught with your jaw checked. You know what I'm saying? This is that moment. Maybe not as big or as impactful, but it is that moment. There's really no answer other than is Sony willing to lose millions of dollars to get this game just to erase this bad optics? And I don't think they're gonna do that. I think they're going to gamble that this is just more short-term internet outrage, and then just see that after the game is released, and they'll go month to month to see how long this is sustained. I don't think they're going to put this. Because if they do, they just cracked the door onto, well, why stop at MLB? Why can't Ratchet and Clank be day one on PS Now? And then why can't Horizon Zero Dawn? And then on and on and on. And I don't think they're going to open that Pandora's box. I don't think Sony's going to open that Pandora's box, especially now when they probably most not likely planning to expand PS Now. I'm not saying there's never, ever, ever, ever going to be a day where we live in a world in gaming's through a subscription service. I'm not that, right? But I think over the next 5 years, Sony's going to continue to do what made them successful with the PlayStation 4. Create big banging exclusives, make great third-party deals, and get the big bangers out there with great marketing. And people will just want the console because it has perceived best games, and the best exclusives. And I think Sony will follow that strategy. I don't think they're in the PlayStation Now Game Pass mode, at least not anytime for the next couple of years. So they're stuck, right? So with that, I already know the comment sections. I already see it. I already see people going to talk about it. Oh, but Puerto Rock, why do you care about companies' money? You just worry about the games. It's insane. Just because you have people on YouTube channel and stuff like that, I'm not living and dying off of Sony's profits. But you have to be a complete moron. A complete moron, right? If you don't fundamentally understand that the brand you prefer, whether it's Nintendo, Xbox, Stadia, I don't care what brand or platform you like. If you don't fundamentally understand that that brand has to make money, you're not going to have that brand. That brand's not going to exist. I'm looking at you. If you're are you an Xbox fan? Well, yeah, Xbox needs to make money. If they don't make money, they're going to go away. You like Stadia? Well, Google needs Stadia to make money. If Stadia doesn't make money, Stadia's going to go away. Here, let me show you an example. Dummy. These people used to make consoles. They were the ones that used to go neck and neck with Nintendo. Where are they at now? There's no console. There's no Sega console anymore. We haven't had a brand new Sega console launch. The last time Sega launched with a brand new console was 1999. Some of you dummies wasn't even born in 99. And why Sega don't make any consoles? Because they were losing money. They couldn't have a financial ecosystem to sustain their console development. They couldn't do it. And because they couldn't do it, they're not going to do it no more. They stopped. They're only going to make games and stuff like that. This company used to push out exclusives by the tons. Now you hardly ever see them create exclusives. They create games here and there. Sega, I still love Sega. Yakuza's dope. But they are nowhere near who they are today the way they were when they were at their height of making games for their consoles. Right? These two, Nintendo and Sega, they were neck and neck. Nintendo's still around. Sega isn't. Why is Nintendo still around? Because they learned to make money. And they learn when there's a product not making money, they know to quickly shut it down and create a new product that generates lots of money. That's how you sustain yourself. That's how Nintendo fans, who's been Nintendo fans for like 30 years or whatever, they still get to be Nintendo fans because Nintendo still make consoles. But what about the Sega fans? What about the people like me who started on Master System or whatever? There ain't no more Sega fans. You understand? So all you dummies that say don't worry about the money, you don't have to fucking, sell your children on it. Excuse my language. Right? But you'll be a fool if you don't notice if a company's making silly decisions. Even Xbox almost went away. You can ask any podcaster, right? Phil Spencer had to convince the CEO to keep gaming around, to keep Xbox in the fight for gaming, and this is how they're going to do it, and MS liked the plan. But if they didn't like Phil Spencer's plan, you would not be having an Xbox right now either. So yes, these divisions, these gaming companies need to make money. They need to make smart decisions to make money. They cannot be stupid and make stupid decisions. They can't. If they make stupid decisions and just go off of they can't be going off of Twitter outrage. Because 90% of Twitter outrage is fake. It doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't. A lot of you guys do fake outrages and you really don't help the game industry. You guys just like to be part of a crowd and stuff that doesn't even apply to you, but you want to pretend that it impacts you, right? Gaming companies, I think, are smarter than that, right? They have to make decisions to sustain the long-term longevity of their product. And that's just it, okay? So I don't think Sony's going to do any silly moves simply because of Twitter outrage. They're just going to have to eat this up and suck it up, and they're just going to have to look bad, right? The only thing Sony is going to have to do, and what is they just going to have to show the games. They're just going to have to show these big AAA titles, get them out there, get them videos out there, get them reveals out there, have, obviously there's no E3 or E3 is doing some dumb stuff. Get an actual PlayStation showcase, not the state of play trash. Get a summer showcase. Get a big showcase. 2016 E3 all over again, where you show Spider-Man, Days Gone, and The Last of Us, all that stuff. They need to have a showcase, and they need to push these AAA titles, and we need to see it. You know what I'm saying? I understand that if you're early adopter, you're gonna have to deal with this long wait of information, but there's a lot of little bad information, negative information that's just ticking, right? And Sony's going to have to do something, right, to really show what the PS5 is. I know exactly what the PS5 is going to ultimately end up doing. It's going to have some of the most banging exclusives, of the generation. Usually PlayStation has amazing exclusives. And I think Sony's going to continue that trend. But until they show it, until they show reveals and trailers to these games, if you don't have anything positive to say, and so far we've seen nothing but negative stuff, then the negative stuff is going to trend for the product. And it's just going to keep going until you do something positive to trend, right? Sure, PlayStation has done some great moves. We're giving some free games, play at home. They added Oddworld and stuff like that. But let's be honest, people want the big banking titles. What is this? Where's God of War trailer instead of a symbol? You know, what is the update to Horizon Forbidden West? What's Naughty Dog's next new project? What is Sony Bend working on? Guerrilla, what the hell are you doing besides Forbidden West? You hired a multiplayer studio, you know, the developers who did Rainbow Six Siege, and you hired them 3-4 years ago. Yo, it's been 3-4 years. Show something. A trailer. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what people are waiting for. People really bought the PS5 because of that. But you're not showing it. So obviously people are going to get angsty. You can't say, you know, that the consumers don't have a right, you know, to force Sony into opening their mouth and show something, right? They bought the console for a reason. They bought a PS5. They want to see the PS5 games. The PlayStation fans have no issues seeing a game that won't come out for 2 years. I mean, hell, Sony did that almost the whole time on the PS4. There's no issues with that. Show us a game, and if it doesn't come out to 2023, 2024, that's fine, you know? But at least we know what you're working on and the type of products you're going to deliver for the brand. But right now, you're not saying anything, and the things that are being said ain't too good or resonating too well. But anyway, that's my hot take. We're going to talk about this more on the podcast on Tuesday, but ultimately, just to recap, MLB's publishing the game, so they're the ones that made the deal with Microsoft, but ultimately, it looks bad on PlayStation. It just does. The optics is bad. There's no way around it. And again, I don't see Sony being able to do anything about it. Not with PS Now only being $60 a year. So you can forget about any thoughts of day one, unless they're willing to bite the bullet. If they are willing to bite the bullet, right? Then, whoa. If they're willing to put the game out day one on PS Now, which I don't think they're going to do that. Or let's say as a PS Plus game in April, they update it and be like, hey, you know what? All right, we're going to give it away on PS Plus. If you're a PS Plus subscriber, you can have it. Holy cow. But don't see that happen. That's just insane amount of money being lost, whatever. But anyway, this is your boy Porter Rock 77. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Prepared to see the crew and maybe a couple of guests speak on this. And I'll see you when I see you, okay? You guys take care. Enjoy your weekend. And don't forget, I'm your only friend in these YouTube streets. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. And everybody, hit the like button on your way out. Don't forget, don't close the screen and not hit the like button. Come on now. It's just a simple button. Hook a brother up, all right? You guys take care. Boy Porter Rock 77, and I'm out. Peace.